welcome back to Crafters TV. It's time for what has fast become mine and your favourite show on the schedule. It is of course Craft Along, and that means it gives us all the opportunity to craft along together in real time, which is absolutely fantastic. And in this show we are going to be focusing on and all crafting along using the interchangeable sentiments. They're available for you if you wanted to grab them now and craft along at a later date, but I know lots of you are poised and ready for a couple of hours of fabulous crafting. It is still double points weekend, don't forget, so that means you'll get double the usual amount of points on all of your purchases with us here on Crafters TV and across the whole Crafters Companion website. Now also, don't forget there's National Craft Month, and that means a giveaway every single day here on Crafters TV. It is an absolute bounty of crafty goodies. Someone today will be winning all of this. Beautiful dies, incredible stamps, we've got some nitwits, bits and bobs in there for you as well. So it really is a fantastic giveaway. All you need to do is comment across on Facebook or YouTube in any one of our shows today, and we'll pick a winner at random during the 7 p.m. show. Now, we need a fabulous crafty expert to take us through the next couple of hours, and thankfully we've got one. Craig is here. How are you, Craig?
I'm doing good, thank you very much. Always look forward to these craft alongs, and this week what I thought we would do is we will go along the lines of Easter. Easter's not too far away, so that we'll make a little box. Now it could be to hold a gift, or it might just be that you want to put some lovely chocolate Easter eggs. So that what we will do is we'll go big when we're making this box that we can see here. So the main focal point on the centre is going to be the sentiment. I've chose to use Happy Easter, but of course, as you've got that choice, you can either use Happy Thoughts or Happy Birthday if you so wish, or you might even want to change it and use something completely different. You might want to follow my lead, but then use all different colours instead. You had your shopping list before, I'll just remind you in a minute as well. But then look, now I'm going to make sure I don't tip this one over. Look what you could be putting in. We could be putting, look at that, let's go for up above as well. Now I won't quite put any in my mouth just yet. I think we'll save them to later on. But you could be putting a nice selection of different Easter goodies in the middle. Or you might just want to put a nice little gift in, maybe a nice little t-shirt or something you can wrap up in tissue paper. But that is what we are going to be making. We're going along the pastel theme when it comes to this one here. So follow along, use what I'm using, or you can use something completely different, and you can then just as I say, follow my lead. But what are you going to need? If you've not seen the shopping just yet, this is exactly what we're going to need. So I'm going to be using one of the pages from the Fairy Garden 12x12 pad. I'll use one specifically. You can choose to follow along and use that one too, or change a different one. We're also going to use the actual butterfly foliage interchangeable die. We're going to use the stitched edge oval dies. We're going to use the ornate frames. This is the triple easel dies, but all we need for that is the word celebrate. So you can grab that one or use your own sentiment if you want. I've also chosen to use the flowers from the Big Era Crafts, the flower dies. I know so many of you got that, so you can incorporate that. We're going to use some A4 foam pad sheets. We're going to use some white pearls from Hunky Dory, optional of course. And then you need 12x12 or A3 card. It says there yellow or green. I use yellow and green, the pastel Centura pearl, if that's what you want to use. And then for the A4 cardstock, we're going to use our matte black, we're going to use our white with our Centura pearl with a hint of silver, and also our pastel blue Centura pearl. So that's going to be the key elements. But then the additional elements to get it all together and to create the box and the layers, this is Scoremaster, Stampin' Mat, large guillotine, craft knife and scissors, pokey tool and collal glue gel, small flower forming ball tool, low tack tape and a tape runner, tacky glue in the fine tip applicator or just in the main bottle itself, and you're going to need your Gemini Junior or your Gemini Midi. All of these included is what you're going to need to actually create this box and create it along with me.
Awesome, loads of you saying hello and commenting away already. Felicia, I can see, is in from Ohio, Diane in Tennessee, Deborah in Louisiana, Tammy is in from South Dakota. Lots of you very excited. Linda saying she can't wait to make today's craft along. Monica also saying hi to myself, Craig and all the crew. Hadassah says she loves the size of the box too. Now, as we go through the craft along, if we are going too fast, we're going too slow, there's anything you missed and you want Craig to recap, then I am here on your behalf. You can get in touch with me over on Facebook by searching Crafters TV and commenting in the live feed there, or of course Crafters Companion over on YouTube. drop into the comments. One of our social media superstars will ping your comments across to me. Our social media superstar for today is Katie, the lovely Katie. So she is on hand to take your comments. Now, if you don't own the stuff that is in today's craft along, it's definitely not too late to get involved. Remember, you can watch any of our shows back at any point over on our website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu, and that is the same place that you need to go in order to place your order. So let me run through what is in the collection itself. It is available today at an awesome price. So here you can see what we've got. So you've got the Happy Birthday, Easter and Thoughts. You then have Just For You, Miss You and Thank You. You've got Sending Wishes, Birthday Wishes and Get Well Wishes. This one here is your Best Wishes, Best of Luck and Best Friend. Congratulations, Celebrate and Condolences. And then Sending Hugs, Love and Kisses, which is awesome. You can get any two of these for £26 or $30 if you would like to mix and match and have a little bit of a selection. Right then, without further ado, I think it's craft along a clock, Craig, don't you?
I think so. I think we should just crack on. And just to say as well, what I'm going to do after this live, and what I mean by after this live, either by later today or tomorrow, while I was creating this, I've even written down the instructions, step-by-step instructions. So if you do want to follow back either by watching this afterwards, or you want the step-by-steps that you can actually copy at home and print out, I will post them on all of my social medias, either tonight or throughout tomorrow. So here we go. Let's get started for this one. So you're going to need your yellow and green cardstock, whether you are using A3 or 12 by 12. The reason that you can do either or is what we're going to do. Each of them we're going to cut down to 11¼ inches by 11¼ inches. So what we can do is using our large guillotine, we're going to do exactly that. We're going to pop our cardstock right up to 11¼ and then we're going to cut that all the way around again to 11¼ So we can pop that to the side. We're then going to bring in our yellow and we can then chop that up to 11¼ and then also 11¼ on that way. So we've got our cardstock exactly the same. Let me just, I wasn't quite butted up to the edge. Here we go. So we've got our two cardstocks now all good to go. So what we can then do is we can then take our Centura pearl that we've just cut there and we can then go in with our Score Master because we can start to create the box now. Now I'm using this on the inches side because what we're going to do is we're going to score at 1½ inches all the way round. So starting with our green, and the green is going to be our base. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on our Score Master and we're going to go to the right hand side where it is the base. So we can then pop that up to the right hand side. Now I always, Joe, I find it easier when doing the base, instead of going upwards, I do find it easier to actually turn it around and then score down this way. So we are scoring at the 1½ inches from the base. So we're going to go all the way down. So scoring. So we can do that on all 4 sides. So this is, when it comes to the depth, it's going to give us a real good thickness of the depth. So we can score all the way around here. And then what we can do is we can do this bit too. And then what we're going to do is before we go on to the actual lid, we're going to do a little bit of decoration on the middle of our base here. So I'm going to move my Score Master out the way just for the time being. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our black matte cardstock and also our white Centura pearl with the hint of silver. So we can then bring in our guillotine. So I'm going to set that to the side just now. And then what we can then do is cut our Centura pearl to 7 by 7. So popping it into place here. So cutting at 7 and by 7. And what this is going to do, Joe, is the base of inside the box. It's going to give it that little bit of decoration. Now you might choose to add a pattern paper, but we're just going to keep it nice and sparkly with the Centura pearl. So now that we've cut that to 7 by 7, this layer we're going to cut to 7¼ by 7¼ and this is going to give us a nice matting layer for the middle. So I can move these bits out of the way. And the reason we're also doing this bit first is it's absolutely easier to pop our matting layer in the bottom of the base while it's folded outwards. If we fold the edges now and then we try and get the mats and layers in straight, it's going to be hard to get our fingers in. So that's why we do it this way first. So we can bring in our tape runner or your adhesive of choice. And I'm going to go in with a straight edge tape runner. And we can go all the way around and we're going to mat and layer that into place onto our black mat card. And we're going to situate that here. And if you're going to do this later on, or maybe you're going to come back and make another one, you might want to choose to emboss it or pattern paper. That's up to yourself. So you've got all these different options, but I have chosen not to. So then what we can then do is, now that we've done that layer here, we're going to pop it into the base already. So we can then go all the way around with our tape runner. And we are right at the end of it. So let's bring in our next one. And we're going to go round. So simply round the edges, and then don't forget, always pop a little bit into the middle as well. That's always going to stabilize the middle. And this is the inside because we want the color on the outside. So what we can do is centralize that into the center. And once I'm happy with that, we're going to press that into place. So we're just going to give that a little bit of a rub, get that heat going with the actual tape runner. So we can then now construct the base. So let's bring in our scissors. And I'm going to pop the edges down. We're going to give them a bit of a burnish as well. So each way, we're going to do all the way around. We're going to burnish them with the tool that comes with the Scoremaster, or you may choose to use an actual burnishing tool if you've got one of our Crafter's Companion ones. So there is the edge, it's starting to go here. So then what we are going to do is on this edge here, where we've got this score line here, where my scissors are, we've got the score line. So we're going to cut down to that score line. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take out a little nick, a little triangle. So we've got our tab here. And I'm going to turn that around. And at this point, Joe, we're going to do exactly the same on all four. So we're going to score these.
Jodie is loving the spring colours that you're using today, Craig. Christine says that she loves the Interchangeable Sentiment dies. She made a bunch of cards already, so excited to see what you make today. Karen has these on the way home, which is awesome. Hadassah says, wow, Craig, you are the best. Take the time to write down the step-by-step instructions is so generous. I follow better with written instructions, so you are the sweetest, awesome sauce, king of the day.
Ah, bless you. It's something that I hear time and time again.
Some people... awesome sauce king of the day?
Oh, not that.
Oh, okay.
That's very kind. Not that. What I do hear is some people say they follow along better by pictures, some people are videos, and some people are actually written step-by-step instructions. So I thought, well, while I'm constructing this and making it, I need to know the steps as well to explain to you guys. So it makes sense to type them out and then I can upload them later on. But what I've done now is on all four corners, I've popped some my adhesive tape. And then what we can do is once we have popped our adhesive onto the tab here, I'm going to fold that one in and we're going to fold this tab into the side and then we're going to match up that edge and we're just going to give that a nice little press and a nice bit of rub and we're going to work our way around and we're going to do that on all four edges. And then what I'll do is I'll go back briefly and I'll show you how I done, or why we done that center part first. And then I'll also give you just a little recap onto what I done to do this base for anyone catching up. So here we go. So there's our base. Now, if we constructed the base first and then went to put our mats and layers in, we're going to have the edge of the box not so much stopping us, but it's going to stop us to get precisely into the middle. So therefore, if you do it when it's completely flat, it's going to be easier. So here we go. So to do the base, what we've done is we cut our cardstock to 11 1/4 by 11 1/4. Then using our Scoremaster, we scored at 1.5 inches all the way round on the base side of our Scoremaster. Then what we've done is we've taken a piece of white Centura pearl with a hint of silver, cut that to 7 by 7. We've then cut a bit of black matte cardstock to 7 1/4 by 7 1/4. We then matte and layered that onto each other and popped into the middle of our base of our box. And then what we done is we constructed the base by going around each side of snipping into the tabs, and then we stuck them in with the adhesive. So we can pop that there. And then I think what I'll do is we'll do the main basis of the box, and then I think if we come back to you, Joe, and then it'll give me a minute, and maybe all you guys a minute if you need to catch up for a bit. But I'll just explain the box lid, very similar. So what we can then do is we can then come along to our pastel yellow, and this time what we're doing, still at 1.5 inches, but we're going to do it from the box lid side. So basically the upright side of your Scoremaster. So we can pop that one into place that right up to the edge, and then we're going to score at 1.5 inches. And we're going to do that on all 4 sides. So we're going to score at 1.5 inches. Do that on the final one, or second last one, sorry, 1.5 inches. Turning that one around, we're going to do 1.5 inches. So we can see this is it now coming together. What I'm going to do at this point, this last bit before I go to Joe, is we're going to burnish all 4 edges, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my lid to the side, and then we're going to start to do kind of the decoration that's going to go into the middle. Key at this moment in time, don't construct the lid just yet, because we've got some embellishment elements to be doing just in a moment or two. So here we go. So that's our lid, 11 1/4 by 11 1/4, and we've scored at 1.5 inches all the way round on the lid side. And for that one, I'm going to leave it just for the time being. For anyone that needs a minute or two to catch up, we'll go across to Joe, and that'll give you that opportunity to do so.
Fantastic. Yeah, so you've got a minute. If you just need to get caught up, anything you miss, anything you want Craig to recap, then just do let me know. Pop into the comments and I'll be sure to do just that. Lots of you chatting away. Yvonne says, I'm a circle back crafter. I have craft along on, but crafting at this time of the day isn't conducive with the household. I love to craft at night when all is quiet and it is me time. Don't know what I'd do without CCTV. I love it. And that's a great point. This will live forever on our website, this show. So even if you ordered these dies and the other elements in this show, you can catch up on the show the moment they come back to you. So don't think you've missed the boat in that respect. Marianne says, Joe, you look so handsome in yellow. Thank you, Marianne. It's a very nice compliment. She says, I can't craft along, but I'm going to colour some squirrels from the Nature's Garden Woodland Collection for card toppers with you all as company on the big screen. Well, I'm glad we're able to keep you company, Marianne. I'm just pleased that you're doing some sort of crafting with us. Joy says, I love watching your teachers, Craig, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Laquieta says, Dear Craig, just made my kiddo's day. She has dyslexia, so keeping up with the craft along is a struggle for her. So the step-by-step instructions for her to follow at her own pace at a later date will be great. Thanks in advance. That's so lovely.
Brilliant. I'll tell you what I'll do then, not kind of one step further, but instead of then pushing it in either tonight or tomorrow, I promise you, by the end of tonight, for everyone, I'll put the instructions up on all my social media, Instagram and Facebook for everyone.
Brilliant. So keep your eyes peeled. Where can we find you on social media, Craig?
So Facebook, both Instagram, just type in Craig Laird CC and it'll pop up, but it goes for all of us on the team. Just our name, CC at the end, and then you'll find us. So just give us, well, I don't think Facebook is a like anymore. I think it's changed to a follow, I believe. Mine has anyway.
A follow?
Yeah, you follow on Instagram. Oh, you follow on Facebook now. You don't necessarily
rather than like.
I know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, just changed the other day.
Joe Holzer says, I like the written instructions along with the video. Then if I don't catch something the teacher says, I can look to the notes without backing up the video. So thank you very much, Craig. Lots of love for those written instructions. Remember, you can go for the collection right now, and then you can, of course, craft along at a later date. Let me go back through everything that you are getting in here. I'm going to get you some of the concept cards as well. So let me just drop these down a second, excuse me. So this is your happy birthday, Easter and thoughts. Here's just a little selection of some of the things that you can do with them. I've got this fabulous little easel card there with a schmetterling just fussy cut out there. Then also great to use these as a topper or an edgeable with it just clipped away in the top there. I think that's a lovely way to use these as well. The next one for you is this one, which is just for you, miss you and thank you. So let me show you a couple of ideas of some of the things that you can achieve with those. Oh, I love this one. It's like an illusion card with that panel there stuck there. No acetate in this one, but could easily put acetate or vellum in there if you wanted to. We've got this one, which is, I'm afraid it's looking a bit sorry for itself, this one, isn't it? I think it's been a bit squished. I'll try and sort that out. But a lovely dome-fronted card there, as you can see. The next one we've got here is sending wishes, birthday wishes, and get well wishes. Someone's done a shaker card with this, which looks absolutely awesome. So it's great for cutting that aperture if you want to. And then also we've got it done here, just as a plain topper, but with a couple of foam pads there, just to give it a little bit of height and dimension. You can also do the best wishes, best of luck, and best friend. And here's a few ideas of what that's going to look like when it's made up into a fabulous concept. Oh, this is an easel, but with acetate behind. I think that looks awesome. That could easily become a shaker easel if you wanted it to. This one here with a very simple fold back, but again looks very, very intricate. And then we've got this one here just matted on top of that black cardstock, looking absolutely fabulous. The next one is congratulations, celebrate, and condolences. And again here, I love that sort of a bit of an inipage there is what I'd call that one. And we've got it just here as well in the congratulations too. These look really great actually with some faux pads behind them, just built up for a little bit of dimension. Then this one here, you've got sending hugs, sending love, and sending kisses. This one here, love that with a fold back card. And then this one, I think that's really interesting. The mat done in black, and then it just paper piece sort of over the top in the white, and then the sentiment done again there in the black as well. So if you wanted to grab these today and watch the craft along back at a later date, absolutely, that's something else that you can do. Right, judging by the comments, I think everyone is pretty much good to go. Little question from Beth for you, Craig. My boxes tend to crack. Any tips to prevent this and types of cardstock to use?
Right here, one of the main key things, I don't know if you've seen me do it, when you score it, do it lightly and then do it again a little bit heavy-handed. So maybe 2 or 3 times, do it very, very lightly and go on top of each other. The other way that you can do it, I don't necessarily do this a lot, but what you can do, and you can give it a try, score it, flip it on itself and score it again. So you're scoring that same line, but once from the front and once from the back, and that's just helping those fibres within the cardstock to be more flexible. I never tend to find an issue when it comes to that. Obviously, I use our texture card, our Centura Pearl, or Durable Scoreable. None of these I have an issue. If you do, give that a shot. Lightly a few times, or do the front and do the back at the exact same time, one after another, and that should hopefully help.
Brilliant, hope that helps, Beth. I think everyone's pretty much all caught up and ready to go, Craig.
Excellent, good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that lid again. Now this is the only part that we're still going to do the lid before we go into the next layer. And I just didn't want to confuse anyone at that last part, so that's why I thought we'll start off with this one bit of our lid. So what we're wanting to do now is we've got our lid into place. So we want to trim 1/2 inch all the way around each edge. So what we're going to do is, because our box lid is 11 1/4 by 11 1/4, what we're going to do is we're going to move this down to 10 3/4 by 10 3/4. So let's move that one down, and then we're going to cut, turn it 90 degrees, and then we're going to do that the same because it's up to 11 1/4. So let's go down to 10 3/4 by 10 3/4. We're now turning it another 90 degrees, and because that's sitting at 10 3/4 by 10 3/4, we're going to come down to 10 1/4, and then what we're going to do is turn that around again, and then we're going to do that at 10 1/4 and cut. So then what this is doing is this is going to give us a smaller lid and edge that you can see here. So it's not quite going to be 1 1/2. We're going to see a little bit of the base of the green just peeping under the lid of the yellow. So that's what you needed to do on that part. But while we are away to move on to the next bit, we'll leave our guillotine out because that's what we need next. So I'm going to take another piece of our black matte cardstock, and then bringing in your fairy garden paper pad, or whatever paper pad you've chosen. Choose which paper that you want. So the one that I went with, and my original one, is this kind of like our mint green polka dot, or you can see here. So that's what I've gone with. So we can then bring this one into play. So we can then, bringing in our black matte card, we're going to cut this to 7 1/2 inches by 7 1/2 inches, And the reason I went for the black is because black with the pastel is really making the image stand out just really boldly, but it doesn't take anything away from the subtleness of the pastel. So then now that we've done 7.5 inches by 7.5, this one can come down to 7.25 by 7.25. And this is going to give us our matting layer here. So that sits nicely into the centre. Now what we're away to do next is using that offcut that we've got from that black layer. Don't need that bit, so I can move that out the way. Using this offcut that we can see here, I'm going to bring in my oval nesting dies, my stitched edged nesting dies. So you can see that it actually just fits on that bit, so no waste. So we're going to put the largest die and then the second largest into our cardstock. We're going to secure that down with our low tack tape. So what I'm going to do is let's take a couple of smaller bits first. I'm going to secure the largest one. And then what we can then do is we can tape this middle one here. So we're going to create a black frame. So tape that, hold that. Now what I'm away to do is we are away to create a black frame. That's then going to go into the middle. And then what I'm going to do within this craft along, we're going to hand cut the centre out. You could, if you want, with your larger Gemini, you could use this smaller die, this inner part, use that one to cut an aperture into the middle, and then you can pop the die frame all the way round. I'll explain that again in a moment or two. But I just wanted to show you that maybe you don't have a larger die cutting machine, you can still cut an aperture into your larger cardstocks. So we can do plastic, magnetic, and then top plate. So that one is going to go through our junior. Of course, as you know by now, my first choice will always be the junior if the dies will go through it. So we can then bring this one out, and as it comes out, we'll be left with our frame. So we actually don't need the centre part. It is the frame that we need here. So that's our frame all ready to go. And I'm going to bring in our tacky glue in the small applicator. So let's move my plates out the way. I'm then going to do our mats and layers first. So using our tape runner once again, we're going to go all the way around. But what I'm also going to do, Joe, is because this paper pad that I've used here does have a little bit of flickering glitter throughout, encapsulated glitter. So in order for that to be really, really sturdy onto our cardstock, stuck to the back of my hand, I'm still also going to put a bit of the tacky glue. So what will happen is the tape from the tape runner will give us our instant grab, and then our actual wet glue, that's going to dry into the fibres, into the encapsulated glitter, and that's going to be really sturdy. So we can press that into place. So at this point, this is where you could take the smallest die that we've used and create an aperture within the middle by die cutting it, or the way I have done it, and I usually do it, is by taking a frame, and then on the back I'm going round with my tacky glue and my small applicator, and we're just adding that adhesive all the way round, like so.
Lots of people really loving this craft along, Craig. Pam saying she loves how much, loves it, it's double points. Barbara saying, oh my, I love the fairy garden paper pad. It is gorgeous, isn't it? Kim on YouTube says, my daughters and I love the sentiment dies. The black and white demo cards really pop on our TV so we can see how intricate the letters and designs are. Joe and Craig, you are so much fun to watch. Teresa also really loving the daisy paper. See, Teresa says she's loving the daisy paper and then you stuck it on the other way around.
You could use the daisy side if you wanted to. That's a good thing with these paper pads, is because they're double-sided. But you've got that choice. You can use whichever ones that you want. So now that I've added my tacky glue and I've just gone round with my finger just to make sure it's nice and adhered, what you can then do is if we bring in our craft knife. Now I'm not going to be I'm not going to be carefree when it comes to my paper here. I'm literally going to go into the middle to cut out. If you want to be more precise so you can save this bit, then by all means do so. But if you ever need to cut into something, what we can then do is using our craft knife, what we're going to do is we're going to cut down, and then I'm going to do that a couple of times to make sure that I've gone all the way through, which I have. And then we're going to do that again the other way. And we're going to do that a couple of times. So what that does is that gives us now the ability to go in with our scissors and chop the centre out. So what I'm going to do very quickly and roughly, I'm going to cut away that excess. So we can take this bit all the way. It's not often you see me using the big scissors for things in cutting, but I'm using it for this aperture. Then what we can do is right up against the line, we can then follow all the way round.
Any tips for the angle of the scissors here, Craig?
So I always keep them at the, now it's about a 90-degree angle. I'm not sure if you can see them kind of there.
There we go.
So I've got them at an angle, so when what's happening is you're actually cutting at a diagonal. So instead of seeing the sharpness of white coloured cardstock on the inside, because you've cut it at an angle, it's kind of just hidden slightly. You could of course go around with a black pen if you wanted to. But the other key thing as well is this hand with my scissors here, I'm keeping still. All that I'm doing is just closing, opening and closing the scissors. It's this hand that's doing the movement. So I'm working my way around, hand staying still other than closing the scissors, and it's this hand here that's guiding the paper. So we're working our way around, following that around, and this goes for anything, whether you're doing your own decoupage die cutting, anything like that. Keep your hand still with your scissors and then move the paper or card with your alternative hand. And then that's going to create our aperture. So it goes to show you don't just have to use a die in a die machine to create an aperture. You know, if you're all right with your hands and cutting, you can do it that way. So now that we have got this one all good to go, we've created our frame and we've created our aperture here. So what we're then going to do is turning it over, and this is where our large foam pads are going to come into play. Because I wanted foam pads, and I know that either some of the small ones or even some of our larger ones can be a bit fiddly. So I thought if we take our large ones, this means that we're going to get a really, really quick coverage when it comes to the height of them. So I have, if anyone's want to know, I'm using the thicker ones from the foam pads, which will be the 3mm ones. So I'm going to roughly cut it because we're not going to see it. So we can pop that one here. I'm going to cut away. Use your guillotine to cut them if you want, because you can do. So that's going to give us our panel here. And then what I'm also going to do is let's cut a couple, and then we can layer them side by side. And that's another quick way of layering up with your foam pads by using our large sheets. So these ones we can move out the way. So taking the backing off, so peeling them away, just getting a hold of them. I'm going to take that excess bit off, and I'm going to layer that on top of each other. Do the same with the alternative side here. And with these foam pad sheets, if you've got them, anything like your nesting dies or shape dies that are really simple shapes, you can be die cutting with them. So many different ways in which you can use the large sheets. But we're going to place them in. We're going to take the last couple, pop them in as well. And then last but not least, we can then take this one in. So if we peel that one off, and then we can place that one on into place. So we can now bring in our box lid, start to assemble our box lid, and then we can also pop that in. So if we bring this one in first, you can see here. And it's at this point, similar to the box base. What I'm doing now, Joe, is I'm going to pop that on before I construct the box, simply because I'm going to use the reverse of this as an example. If you create the lid, although it's easy to assemble, because you've not got much give within the middle, sometimes it can make it a bit harder to layer up. So therefore, if we have that flat, solid surface on the base, it means we can line and layer that one up, then we can come around and we can then snip away.
Christine's asking, could you use a smaller die to cut the aperture, the middle out?
Absolutely, yep. So as I was explained before, if you happen to have your dies in your larger machines, because you would need your large die cut machine, whether it's a Gemini or another one, you'd need a large one for this size to fit through. But yeah, you can do, no problem. I wanted to show, and my plan is with the craft alongs, some things that may be simple things to show you an alternative. Easiest way, use your nesting dies through the Gemini, that'll cut no problem. If you don't have that or have any issues, you can still hand cut your aperture yourself at home, no worries. So layering that one up, so popping that into the center and pressing, and then what we can do is we can then come along with the lid of the box and we're going to cut down to our score line, and then we're going to snip a little triangle. And I think, Joe, if it's all right with you, if I'll finish this, and then once I've finished it, we come back to you and let anyone else need to catch up. Does that sound like a good idea?
I think some people are fiddling with their foam pads a little bit, Craig. So
well, it's always the foam pads
after you've done this section, we'll give you everyone a chance to get all back on the same page. So don't worry about that if you have fallen slightly behind.
Absolutely. Yeah, if there's any part that I think sometimes it can slow people up, it's the foam pads. I need to remember it's not everyone can be as quick like I am.
Not everyone's foam pad finger is quite as quick as yours.
I know, and it's actually grown back from when I broke it the other week. So here we go. So exactly
you broke what?
What was that?
You broke what?
My picky foam pad fingernail.
You broke the nail.
One.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought you meant you broke your finger for a second.
No, sorry,
I was concerned.
No, broke the nail. This is my picky nail for like foam pads or tape or anything like that. And I broke the nail. So popping these ones in here, into the edge, and we're going to give that a nice little press to adhere. So pressing in, and then what I'm also going to do is just kind of push in the edges just where we've done our layers. Bring in our base, pop that one over the top, and then there is the main construction of our box, as well as our mats and layers that you can see here. So once we come back to me in a few moments or time, it's going to be ready to rock and roll with the actual Interchangeable Sentiment dies.
Awesome. Well, let's give everyone a little chance to catch up then, as we said, Craig. Lots of people chatting away with us. Linda says she loves all of the Crafts Companion paper, always gorgeous prints. Linda also says, you make it look so easy to cut out, Craig. Michelle says, Craig, I love that technique. It makes it so much easier and neater. I think she's referring to the angle of the scissors that you were talking about there. Tammy says the whole aperture process is totally different than what I would have done myself. However, I really love to see totally different ways of doing things. Rebecca says, this craft along is fab. Craig makes it look so simple to follow. I'll have to do mine tonight once my daughter goes to sleep. Watch it back whenever you like, Rebecca. Hadassah says, great tips and good pace today too, so thank you. Sandra Folds on YouTube says, this is a brilliant show for learning basics as a newbie. Absolutely loving this show, so thank you. You are more than welcome, Sandra. Now, I want to take you through some of the paper pads that we have available to you on the show, because I know Craig has used the paper pad that he used, the Fairy Garden, but you can use any of your paper pads that you wish. Play around with all your different colours of cardstock as well. In here, what we've got for you, I've got a few different ones on the show. Let's start with the best of British that we've got. Now, it's double-sided. I love the fact that you've got like a faux inky background on one side and then all the focal imagery on the other side. Things like postcards, there's beach huts, cups of tea, some lovely sort of spotty and stripy designs in here. This one is one of my favourites. I adore that bunting that's in there. We've got schmetterlings and all sorts of different things, flowers. It really is a real good sort of all-round pad. If you wanted something that has a lot of variation of styles, then I'd say this is definitely your one. $19.99 or $24.95 if you want to go for that one. The next one here is the Fall Blooms, and this is gorgeous. Lots of floral elements in here for you. You also have die-cut toppers in the back of this, which is fantastic. And then all of those lovely papers. You've got lots of gorgeous foiling within here as well, which I think is fantastic. Those roses, for instance, you can see just how beautifully foiled those are. Again, the thing is with florals, you know, it's timeless, isn't it? So it's a really, really great one to have in your stash. If you want to go for that one, it's 40 sheets of 12 by 12, 180 GSM, $16.99 or $19.95. This one is a contemporary watercolour. I would say this is one of the most popular ones of late that we've launched amongst our experts. Excuse me. Debbie used this the last few times in her craft alongs actually. I like the fact that you do get toppers in the back of here, which is awesome. They're always so versatile. I love that one. This sort of background just here I think is absolutely awesome. And again, you've got a really good selection of colours within this one in lots of different floral themes for you too. That one there, $17.99, $22.95. And then this is actually your most popular today. It's the Everyday Celebrations, which is fantastic. It's 12 by 12 again. And this one has got everything you need. Again, a really sort of no particular theme here with this. Just a very good mixture and variation of different styles, designs and colours, which is absolutely awesome. 48 pages there. For £11, that's a good one, isn't it? £11.69 or $15.25. Don't forget, double points as well means you're going to get double points across absolutely anything you order here on Crafters TV or across the wider Crafters Companion website, all the way up until the end of Sunday. Now, we also have a Got It Good deal. It's your penultimate day to stock up on this offer. It's a fantastic deal for you. And in here, what you're going to get is you're going to get the Envelope Box Creator. You're also getting the Boxer Board scoreboard and the Scoremaster itself. It should be $42.97 or $42.85. However, £25 or dollars wherever you're shopping today, which is a brilliant deal there on that as well. Lots of you are still chatting away. If you've got any questions you need Craig to recap, absolutely anything whatsoever, then do let me know. I know some of you are busy shopping away and no doubt waiting for an opportunity to check out your basket. So I'm going to give you that right now before we go back to Craig. Here are all the details on how you can watch and shop at the same time. Hi, I'm Joe from Crafters TV and I'm here to show you how you can grab the best deals and shop whilst you watch during our shows. So the best way to watch us is always on Crafters TV. Head on over to our homepage and go to Crafters TV. You can see all of our shows, offers and even shop while you watch. Now if you want to get involved and comment along, head over to our Facebook page. Come say hello, ask us some questions and lol with us. Or you can watch us on YouTube. Simply head to our Crafters Companion YouTube channel. Got a smart TV? You can even AirPlay directly onto your big screen. We're constantly adding new and exciting shows to our schedule, so don't forget to check in. It's never been easier to have us in your living room. It's always fun here at Crafters TV, so come join us as we create every day. Absolutely, we do every single day. Remember, if you miss any of our shows, so you want to catch up or watch anything again, you can do it. We have a fully on-demand service on our website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .uk. Lots of you loving this show today. Yvonne saying love and have all those paper pads. Crafters Companion are the best papers, period. So glad that you enjoy them. Right, Craig, I think everyone's just about caught up. So if you're ready, we're ready to push on with the next part, if you are.
I am indeed. So what we're going to do now, the way I try to make this and work this is any offcuts are that we're still going to use within the box, so very little waste. And that's exactly what we're going to do now. So if we take that other strip that we've just done a moment ago from our black matte cardstock, so we'll have two strips left over, one from the base, inside the base, and then one from our this one is from the offcut from our base, and then our white Centura Pearl with the hint of silver, that is also the offcut from the base. So we've got these ones. So we can then bring in our dies. So we're bringing in our interchangeable dies. So let's go for Happy Easter. Now you might choose to do a different one or a completely different sentiment. That's up to yourself. But what we can do is we can then pop that onto our card. And I'm going to do them both on the Gemini Junior. So I'm going to trim these ones down so that I've got them to size here. And then we can then bring in our next one. So the main basis of our sentiment, that's going to be on the black. Then the decorative panel part, that's going to be onto the white with a hint of silver. So we can pop that one to the side. Bringing in our plates and our low tack tape. We can then pop these ones on. So I'm going to pop this one here onto our plates, pop that one that way, just secure it with a little bit. We're going to bring this one here onto our plates. Now what I'm going to do, Joe, is I'm going to pop that one kind of in angle, And while we're running these through, let's take another strip, so that was left over from our black here. And then we're going to bring in our triple easel, our ornate frames, but it's just the sentiment from this one that I'm wanting. You might choose to use a different one. So for this one, let's use the outside die, and we're going to pop that onto our black card, trim down, pop that one into place, secure that one onto our plates, and then we're going to run this one through. It also goes to show as well, Joe, you know, sometimes you think the Gemini Junior, you know, yeah, you can get some layers, but not quite a lot. It goes to show that, you know, we've got two of the main layers from our interchangeable dies, plus a backdrop for a sentiment, and they've still all fitted on a Gemini Junior plate. So I think it's when you see it that you think, gosh, you absolutely can get quite a few elements on your plate at once. So we can now remove our black layer. So we've got this one here. So there's one. We can then take our next layer. Now, keeping in mind, you may have noticed I've not cut into this one. We've kept it so it's got the full panel. And carefully take these ones away. And then I'm going to use my pokey tool. Got a couple of little butterfly wings to pop out. There, and there. So we can take that one away. Let's do another one here. Let's just get that last bit out the way. So there's our second layer. And then what we can do is we're going to pop our Celebrate to the side. We're going to then bring in our sentiment. So I've got my Happy Easter, and we're going to die cut this one twice. So this should just fit onto that little bit of black cardstock that we've got left over. Of course, you know, I know what you're like at home. You're going to have an abundance of cardstock, so you don't need to worry too much. It's just if you are a bit low on card, then this just goes to show that a lot of these layers will all work from a couple of sheets. So we're doing this one. Then what we can then do is take the center part of the Celebrate, and we can then bring in that pastel cardstock that we've got left over. So we're going to bring in the green, and we're going to use the green for the Celebrate. So let's trim that one off, there and then there. So this one can get taped down. And then what I'm also about to do, still using that green cardstock, I want just one of these butterflies, but in green. So what we can do is let's take just a little square or rectangle. It just needs to be big enough to fit the butterfly, or as you say, Joe, the Schmetterling. Schmetterling. So we can take our die release tool, take out any of these little bits. If you've still got some, just pop it out with your pokey tool. So I'm going to take a few of these ones out. And you don't have to cut out the full die that you can see here. If there's only a key element that you need, just make sure your cardstock's big enough and it's fitting behind, and you can cut that one on its own. So I'm not going to take all these bits out just now. What I'm doing, we can see, so if I turn that one over, we can see our cardstock's more than big enough to cut that layer out. So we can layer that one underneath with our tape, and we can run that one through. Same plate configuration, plastic, magnetic and top plate. So as that one's going to go through, we've got our layers here, all cut, cut and then cut. So wait on this coming out here. Some of the separate layers you'll be able to do with maybe your mini or that you've got, but ideally it's going to all go through your junior. So we can then bring, if you wanted to, actually even afterwards, if you wanted to come and do this later on, or even do another one, and you've got the Gemini Pro, think of how many of the layers that you can do in a winner by using the Pro, having that option. But there's our Celebrate done. So we can see we've got our green layer over our black.
Love
so
that colour combo, Craig.
It's nice, isn't
lovely,
it?
yeah.
And I know I say this so much, but please don't be scared to use black with your colours. Black is really, really good. It's adding that accent highlight all the way round, so don't ever be afraid to use it. So now that we've got our Happy Easter in black, what we can do is we can take that one out, and we're going to cut this again, but in the green. So we can then pop these bits out into place. So there's our Happy Easter in black. And then what we want to do is any of these little bits, we can be popping this one out. So I'm happy I've got them. So let's move them ones out the way. So let's take a bit of cardstock. So green cardstock here. So that can go there, Joe, like so. But what I also want to do, and this is where we're kind of cutting down on steps, I need another couple of butterflies like I've just done here. So instead of doing one after another, what we're doing is we're cutting them in with doing some of our other layers. So then therefore it's going to cut down on time as well.
Yeah, saves you time. Rita says, I never think to cut several things out at once. So thanks for showing that, Craig.
You're more than welcome. And I don't want you to think as well, when we're at home prepping our craft alongs, it's not the case of, right, what can we do? Let's do it. Let's get it all sorted in our head, the way to explain it to you, and that's it. We're all trying these, for instance, the aperture, thinking of another way to show you other than just putting it through the die cutting machine. Maybe working on your cardstock that you've got left over. Instead of wasting it, we're thinking, right, how can we use these to show you to cut down on obviously waste, but then space as well, and alternatively time as well. So if you're needing to cut this one die several times, then there's no reason that you can't use it and cut it at the same time as doing other layers. So sometimes you just need to have just a think about it for a couple of minutes. What layers do I need and what can I cut at the same time to cut down on time, and you can do the fun creating bit. But here we go. So we've got these bits out. And notice as well, at the time being, I'm not taking all the bits of cardstock out, just the ones for around the butterfly. So we're going to take all that bit out the way. So we've got that, and we've got that. We've got our green butterfly. So we've got our die here. So I need another 2 butterflies, and that is a yellow one and a blue one. So let's do a yellow one just now. I'm going to pop that one on here. So there's that one. And then bringing in our plates, and we're going to run that one through. And that's going to give us nearly just about all our layers that we need for our box to actually do the decoration of the box. We can bring this one out. And then if we pop the sentiment out into place. I love with these dies, you know, and it happens with a lot of them, but specifically this one, I love how the shape that we've got of the bits of die cut out. Use maybe your spritzing inks or maybe your actual water reactive inks and do a little bit of a backdrop if you want. But what we're then going to do is I'm going to pop them out. So pop these bits out. And then the last bit of die cutting, for now anyway, is we're going to do another butterfly, but we're going to do it in a piece of the blue pastel. So all that I'm away to do is just do this again, but in blue pastel.
Awesome. Lots of people chatting away with us, Craig. Sandra says, my sentiment dies have just arrived, so carefully watching how to use them. Susan says, these craft along shows are absolutely the best. Glad you enjoy them, Susan. Debbie says, I love all of the Crafter's Companion paper pads, such beautiful colours and print and great quality as well. Do let me know if there's anything that you'd like Craig to recap whatsoever, and I will absolutely do my best to get him to double back on anything that you missed. Samantha Cheney says, have these interchangeable sentiment dies. We'll be making Easter cards soon. Yeah, they are going to be great for that. Not often really you see collections with an Easter sentiment in, is it, Craig?
No, and I think that's one of the reasons why people have gone nuts for not only this collection, but also for the sentiment in general. Because as you say, it's not often, certainly here in the UK, that you get something that's Easter themed or Easter based. So to even just have an Easter sentiment is so good to have in the collection, and it's so versatile, whether it's cards, whether it's boxes, projects, anything like that, perfect for obviously your Easter time.
Any excuse to celebrate with some crafting, Craig, I think, you know, has to be taken, doesn't it? It really, really does. Yes, as I said, any questions or comments you've got, absolutely. The best way to get in touch with me, Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion over on YouTube as well. So do let me know.
Excellent, absolutely. And that's what's so good about Crafters TV. Either just our normal daily shows that we do masterclasses and obviously Creative Cravings, all of that. The fact that we're so interactive, live, there and then, for you to chat away with us, with yourselves, or ask questions. But a craft along where we just do exactly that, all together, craft along, and you're in control. As Joe just said a minute ago, you know, I can stop and reiterate and go over anything needed done. You can say if we're going too fast, too slow. Just love it. That's what I love about it. So here we go. So we've got the main layers we need for our butterflies. So what I can do is I can move all these bits out of the way for now. So if my memory serves me correctly, when it comes to the interchangeable sentiments, I think that's us used them for now. So what we can do is we can start to layer up this component before we start to do some flowers. So let's just tidy up very quickly. Let's move them to the side. And then what I'm going to do is if I layer up all of these, so we're going to do all these layers up, which then means that we can then go on to the flowers. So we'll pause after I've done this bit. We'll go across to Joe, let anyone catch up, because I know there was a lot going on there, and then we can start by finishing off when it comes to the flowers. But here, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our foam pad sheets. Now, what you could have done with your black cardstock, you could have put your black cardstock over your foam pads and then use the die to cut out. That would give you a solid, do you know what? Do you know what? Let's do it. Because we're live, we can do it. So what I'm going to do is let's take a bit of black cardstock. So instead of now us cutting our foam pads to fit onto the back, we'll now have a back that's completely foam backed, basically, if that's even a word. So I'm going to take our large foam pad sheet. So let's peel off the back. So we can then take this full backing bit off. And then we're going to pop our black matte cardstock over the top. So let's pop that one on here. Then what we can do is let's bring in that outline die. And we're going to pop that one on.
I see what you did there. I was a bit lost for a second, but I'm following again now.
Yeah, yeah.
So these dies are going to be okay to cut through that thick foam pad?
Absolutely,
awesome.
Yeah. What I am going to do is just because we've got that extra thickness there, I'm going to put in my metal shim, and then we can run that one through. So other than our metal shim, plastic, magnetic, and then top plate. So this bit, yes, we are detouring slightly, but all that we're doing is we're ready to put foam pads on the back, but to show you the versatility when it comes to backing that size in the foam pad sheets, we can absolutely cut through them. So if I take these ones off, now we've now got
fabulous.
Our backdrop, but that is edge to edge foam pad, 3mm foam pad.
Love that.
That you can see here. So that was just a slight detour, but that goes to show how you can do that. So let's move them to the way, out the way. So let's use this one that we've just done. Instead of popping foam pads there, we'll use this one. And then our white layer, we will pop some more here. Now this one I wouldn't do onto foam pads because we've got all this intricate detail all the way around, and that's not going to cut onto your pads. So I'm going to take the backing off of this one, layer that one in. Let's put a little one to the side. We're going to then place this one over the top. So let's pop that there. We might need to snip a little bit. So let's layer that one on. They can peel this one off. So this is going to give us abundance of layers. So we've already got that one layer from our aperture oval. So now what we're doing is this black layer is going to match the height of our lid. So if I bring this back in here, so we've got that depth, that 3mm depth there from this layer. So our foam pad layer, that's going to match that. Then this layer here, this is going to tower slightly above it because it's double the height. And then we're going to bring in our sentiments here, and we're going to bring in our tacky glue with our fine applicator. And then I'm going to, let's get our glue going. We're going to pop our adhesive on the back here. Might want to use your dotty tape runner or your spray. It's up to yourself. But I'm going to round all the way round most of the way around anyway, getting most of the elements here. And then we're going to pop that over the black layer, but we're going to do a bit of an offset shadow. So if I pop that one here, here, and here, pressing it into place. We're going to press that one. And then what I'll do at this point, Joe, is I will stick this one here, and then before we pop it onto our box and assemble it to the next bit, we'll come back to you. Does that sound all right?
Sounds great.
Perfect. So here we go. So let's pop our bits of adhesive here. And then what I'm going to do is set that into place there. We can see, hold that in, and then there we go. So that is our main sentiment that we can see here. And at the moment, when you're thinking, well, the white with the black, it's very dark, it's very deep. But when we've got that surrounding of the pastel, of the green and the yellow, it's really going to make it pop out. So I'm not going to do anything else. I'm not even going to cut these butterflies yet. I'll just tidy up the bits I need to tidy up, and then that will let anyone catch up that needs to catch up, and then we can move on to the next bit.
Sounds like a plan, Craig. Tracy Lewis says, Craig, thank you for all of your tips and tricks. Hadassah saying how much she loved those colours. Maggie says, got to admit, I also love the craft along shows. Love watching and crafting along in real time. Beth says, CCTV is awesome. So glad I found it. I've learned so much. Yesterday I did my first attempt at a watercolour background and it turned out okay. Congratulations, Beth. Linda says, I love having the Easter die. Joyce Sampson says, love the black and the white, Craig. Really shows the beautiful intricacy of the design. And Dana says she loves how this is all coming together. We're going to give you a moment to get yourself caught up. If this is your chance that you need to catch up, then you've got that opportunity. Let me just grab the collection again for you, because I know I said it already, but if you haven't yet got this collection, then you can absolutely grab it in today's show and then come back and watch this craft along at your leisure. There's it's really great because there's 6 die collections here, but each die collection offers you 3 different sentiments. You've got 18 different variations for $74.95 or $84.75, which is really good value. Let me show you what you've got. Then you've got Happy Birthday, Easter and Forts, and this is going to allow you to do awesome little card concepts such as this one. Beautiful little easel card that's been done there, and also use these as an edgeable as well, as has been used just there. I think that's a really lovely way of using them. This one gives you, just for you, miss you and thank you, and this has been made up on the black and white cardstock as a bit of an illusion card, so you can see you've got this panel here, that topper holding it all together, and also done here too as a dome-fronted card, which is another lovely way of using it. This is sending wishes, birthday wishes and get well wishes. Perfect for doing things like your shaker cards with these. Also just used very plainly as a topper. I think it looks fantastic. A few foam pads there to give that a little bit of depth and dimension. Best wishes of luck and friend has been used here with an easel, but with a little bit of acetate through there as well. I think that's really lovely. And we've got it as a simple fold back card here too. Again, a lovely way of using it. And just done very simply, but using the topper in the background and the outer edge as a topper all the way around with just a few foam pads, giving you a different look and feel. The next one here says congratulations, celebrate and condolence. And this has been done again in the same way, with the waist used over the top and then the topper in the background. And again here, but with just a different sentiment there. Very intricate and detailed, the die around there that creates that. The next one here that we've got for you is sending hugs, love and kisses. And this one's been done as a really lovely fold back card, as you can see there. And again, just put together very simply in layers as a topper. They really are great. Because of the intricacy and the detail of the die, I don't think you need to really do too much. Of course, if you want to do more intricate card concepts, and absolutely you've got the ability to do that as well. It's completely up to you. I'm just going to run you back through the card pads as well. Well, these ones here are brilliant. Some of our most popular ones in these, you've got the Best of British firstly, which is this one here. It's 48 pages. Now what you've got are double-sided pages, and what it means is that the reverse basically matches beautifully the main side. So that's the main side, that's the reverse. It means that you could mat and layer those up very easily, and you know you've always got something that matches. It's a very good variation of sort of backgrounds and focal imagery in there. Lots of florals, really awesome. Works well with the Best British collection, also works perfectly well on its own too. Full blooms, this is one here. This one's got toppers in the back of it as well, which is always handy, especially for things like your easel cards. And this one has got foiling on it as well, which I think is absolutely awesome. So you can see there are lots of different floral elements within that one for you. $16.99 or $19.95 if you want to get that one. And we've also got contemporary watercolour for you. I'd say among our experts, this is one of the most popular ones that we've launched recently. Again, lots of lovely toppers in there and loads of lovely floral themes. What I love about this one is the variation of colours. You've got blues, reds, pinks, browns in there, a little bit of everything for you. 40 sheets there in that one. And then finally, you've got everyday celebrations as well. This one just here, I love this. Again, if you were looking for something that's offering you versatility, from florals to backgrounds, to dotty backgrounds, there's a little bit of everything in that one for you. $11.69 or $15.25 if you want to get that one. Right, don't forget, this weekend here on Crafters TV, it's double points weekend. Double points means double Club Inspire points. If you're new to us and you're not familiar with all the details of Club Inspire, then here's our Sarah to take you through them.
Welcome to Club Inspire, our free loyalty club. As a member of the club, you can save up to 20% every time you shop with us. For every £1 you spend, whether it's in one of our stores or on our website, you'll collect 1 loyalty point. The more points you have, the more benefits you'll receive. As a welcome present, we'll give you 20% discount with your very first order. Once you place your first order, you'll be given 250 points straight away, making you a bronze member. This will mean that you'll receive a 5% discount on all of your purchases until the end of the next calendar year, plus priority postage. 500 points takes you up to silver membership, where you'll get 10% discount plus free shipping when you spend over £20. When you get to 750 points, you'll become a gold member, which gets you a whopping 15% discount on every order, and we'll ship them to you completely free, no matter how big or small they are. Spend over £25 and we'll send them to you via our premium next day delivery courier service. When you reach 1500 points, you'll become a platinum member, giving you the same shipping benefits as a gold member, but with the added bonus of a massive 20% discount on all of your purchases. Now on top of that, you'll receive exclusive discounts, sneak peeks of brand new products, special offers and money saving vouchers. You'll have access to an exclusive secret Facebook group to meet like-minded friends, to find out information first and to be inspired by all the Crafty makes. We'll send you a completely free quarterly Digimag direct into your inbox, giving you lots of hints, tips, inspiration, additional offers and some sneaky behind the scenes gossip from the team. So what are you waiting for? Become a member of our club today.
Absolutely, what are you waiting for? Make sure you get yourself signed up. You can do so very easily over on the homepage, over on the website. A lot of love for this craft along. Dana, loving how it's coming together. Alice says, I love the black and the white. Tracy says, absolutely love that contemporary watercolour. She's got 2 of those. And Lou says, great craft along demo. Loving all the colours. I think everyone is pretty much, Craig, caught up and ready to go if you are.
I am indeed. We are ready to go for sure. So what we can do now is we can, for the time being, let's take that green butterfly that we've cut out and we're going to bring in our tiny little scissors, or any scissors that you've got, and we're going to cut it out. And all that we're going to do is we're going to follow the line. So let me take, have I got another bit of black card? And then if I pop that underneath it, maybe make it a bit easy, yes, much easier to see. So what I'm going to do, these bits here, just roughly, I'm going to snip them away to make it easier to cut out. And then around all these little bits of the butterfly, I'm going to trim them away so that we can get the shape of the butterfly. So following the wings all the way around and just getting rid of any of these little bits so the petals or the wings of the butterflies come to life. So carrying on, working in there and then into here. So if I pop that one there. So then that is now giving us our separate butterfly. So we're going to use that in with our project. Alternatively, you might want to use that as a standalone butterfly in any other project. So what I'm then going to do is turn it on its back. I'm going to bend its wings slightly upwards, and I'm going to put a little bit of the tacky glue down the middle of the body, and then I'm going to layer that completely over the top, and I'm going to hold it for a few seconds just for the tacky glue to grab. And then what we can do is we can pull up the wings. Notice as well, this white layer, when we pop that down, I've not put anything to stabilize all of the flourishes and the petals behind. I've left that so that it just naturally frees and it bounces as well. So that is on purpose. So we can then bring that in. If you did want to stable it slightly, you could trim a little bit of a foam pad and pop that on the back of the butterfly on that side, and then that's going to stabilize the top, but I don't feel as though there's any need to. So at this point, I'm going to move that one out of the way, and then we can come on with another bit of cutting. So I decided, because so many people got the big year of crafts, that let's bring in some of the floral flowers from this set here. I'm only going to use that one, and where am I? That one. I've used 3. So I'm using that one twice, then I'm using that one, and then this little one here for the centre.
Could we use any of our flower dyes at this point, Craig?
Absolutely. You might not have the year of crafts, so you can then use any ones that you've got at home. It's entirely up to yourself. So what I've got is the remaining part of our black card, and because what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 flowers. So we only need a tiny bit because we only need 3 of them. So I'm going to cut just a few little bits just now. So 1, 2, and then 3. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our pastel cardstock, and we also need 3 of each. So I'm wanting to make sure, so this one here, this middle-sized one, I'm going to do in yellow. So let's roughly cut so that we've got 3 of them. So 1, 2, and then we're going to fit that one there. So that gives us our 3. And then what I do is I also need the same. So this one here, we need 3 for the green and 3 for the blue. So we're going to cut all the way up, and then we're going to shape them. And that's why I've brought in our stamping mat, so that I can show you how you can shape your flowers with them. If that's all that you've got, maybe you've not got a flower forming mat, then you can use your stamping mat with a ball tool. So we're going to have 3 squares for our green, we're going to have 3 for the yellow, and then we've also got 3 for this little diddy little die. But that's not all. We also need, because we're going to use this one again, we need 3 when it comes to our blue.
Will you cut more than one layer at once, Craig?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, and we're going to do that a couple of times actually, just to show how it's actually going to cut no problem. And the fact is as well, because we're going to shape them as well, it's going to soften the edges, so no problem. But although I put A4 blue Centura Pearl, that's really all that we need, these little bits. It's not even a full sheet that we're needing because we've got that left. So what we can do, I'm going to set them there, there, and there. So these 3 are in black, these 3 are in yellow, and then these ones are going to be in the green and the blue. So let's bring in our layers. So let's do 1 flower at a time. So as you say, Joe, what I'm going to do is these 2 layers together. I'm going to turn my plate over, remembering to rotate it. So we're going to secure that one down. We're going to do the middle one, and we can secure that one down. And then we're going to take this really diddy one here, and then we're going to secure that one down. So we can pop them bits to the side just now.
Don't drop that one on the floor, I'm guessing, Craig.
No, that is certainly one that you want to make sure that you've got in your die cases. When it comes to the main sheet, it is on a real sticky backing. But if you've got, of course, your magnetic shims or maybe Tiffany storage, anything like that, then I would possibly be putting it in that, just so that you don't use the little ones. That's for sure. And then what I have done as well is I did purposely do the reverse because we've got 2 layers here, I want to make sure that we've got a good cut. So I've done the pause and reverse. So let's take this one off. So we need the tiny little center bit. So there's one of them, set that to the side. Let's bring this layer. So there's one yellow. And then what we can do is if we peel them away, so let's just carefully pop that second layer. Now each of these layers that I've just done are 310 GSM. So that's just cut 620 GSM. Phenomenal that the Gemini can do that. So we can pop these bits out the way, don't need that, and I don't need that. So what we'll do is, let's get them ones, and them ones. We're going to do that once more. We're going to shape it, and then while we're doing that, we'll do a third one, and then we'll come back to you, Joe. If that made no sense, I'll explain that again in a minute. So let's take our green and our blue again, pop that over the top, and tape that in. Let's take our yellow, let's just secure that so it doesn't move from our card. Taking our yellow, pop that one on, and then last but not least, let's bring in our little black one here, and we'll also do the pause and reverse. So layer them up onto our plate. We're going to pause it, and then what we can do is we can reverse it. Now these ones, of course, at home you could be doing through your MIDI or your Mini or your Go. And I would usually do that, but obviously by me doing that, it's then going to go a lot quicker than some of you might be able to follow along with. So that's why we're still using our Gemini. So we can then move these ones out the way. So we can peel these ones off. So although we've still got another one set that we need to do, that I've just done a moment ago, cut that again. What I'm going to do is we're going to shape one of them so you can see how to do them. Potentially, I'll let you decide, Joe, if you want me to show it again for the second one. And then when we come back to you, this is when myself and all of you at home can do the third one. So there's 1, 2, so let's pop that one there. Let's bring in a yellow. So there's that one. Pop these bits out here. Is there, and then last but not least, which is there. So we've got 1 flower, we've got 2 flowers, and then we'll still have a third one to do in a moment or two. But what we can do is bringing in our stamping mat, and we're also going to bring in our ball tool. So I've chosen the ball tool that has the smallest end on it. So we need also our tacky glue at the same time. So what I can do is if I bring in this flower, so we're going to go for the blue as the base, then the green, then the yellow, and then our little black one here. So turning it over on its back, what I'm going to do is on the smallest ball tool, we've got the small one and then the next size up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll back and forwards, and you'll be able to see from up above, see how that starts to shape it? So we're going to go round there, and we'll keep going to go all the way round, and we're going to do all of these. So we can go around that way, just rolling back and forwards. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over, and then with the smallest end, I'm going to go into the middle, and I'm going to roll round and round and round, just in the centre. And then you start to get that shape to the flower. So let's set that one to the side. So we're going to do it exactly the same. So we're going to just roll back and forwards, roll back and forwards. We're going to do that with all of the petals, all 6 of these that are in this one flower head. That one, and then that one. Then what we can do is we can then flip it over, and then we can then go into the centre, and then we're just going to push, and we're going to roll round and round and round to start to get that shape. We'll do that once more with this one. But for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it on the smallest one because the actual petal parts are really thin. So rolling back and forwards, getting that shape. And then what we're going to do is flip it over again. It's like a little spider, isn't it? Round and round. And then before we assemble this one, I'm going to take this black one here, and it's sitting upright. I know it's hard to see, it's so diddy, but it's sitting upright. And then what I'm going to do is just over the top with my ball tool, and it adds a slight bit of curvature. I know it's hard for you to see. There you can see it, just curves it slightly.
Is there anything you could use instead if you didn't have a ball tool, Craig?
So you could use, you've got your ball tool, anything that you've got a rounded edge to it is obviously it's going to work. You could use if you've got your scoring tool that has a larger end to it, then you can be using that one. Just to have something that's got that roundness to it, you know, whether it's a cylinder shape thing or a round shape, you know, maybe the lid of a pen. So if we've got maybe one of your Spectrum Noirs or maybe one of your other marker pens, as long as it's got a rounded tip to it, then you could start to shape it that way. So, you know, there is ways and means about doing that. So what we can do to construct this flower, we're going to take our tacky glue and we're going to put a little bit into the middle. Really is only a little bit that you need. We're going to pop our flower into the middle, but what we're going to do is we're going to place it, so we're going to offset it so we can go that way. Bringing our pokey tool in again, and I'm going to press firm. I'm just going to push in, you know, 5-6 seconds. We can then do it again. So put in a tiny little bit of glue. We're going to bring in this one, and then we're going to hold for like 4 or 5 seconds. And then last but not least, we're going to do that again, tiny little bit of glue, and then we're going to bring in this tiny little bit of the center of the flower. Now, if it's too small for you to pick up, just dab your pokey tool into the glue and then pick it up that way. And then what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to press into the center, and then that's giving us a little paper flower. You can see here. How well does that look? Even with the Centura Pearl, there's no cracking or creasing. So Joe, what do you think? Will I explain that once more?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's go for it. No problem at all. Because then what we can do is we'll still have one to do, but at that point we could always come across to you. And I know that this bit may be a bit of time that someone will need to catch up with. So then that will give you a little bit of time. So once again, let's take our flower, so over the back. And if you are using any other flower die, you're just going to do exactly the same as what I'm doing here. But obviously it's a different shape petal. So rolling back and forwards, rolling back and forwards. We're just getting that shape. And I'm using our sponge stamping mat. You do get actual flower shaping mats out there. But if you don't have one, do what I do. Either use a mouse mat, would work, as long as it's spongy, like this material, or you could be using this one that I'm doing now. So shaping with the largest end of the ball tool. We're going to turn it over, and then we're going to roll. So we can do that again. So bringing in our yellow layer. I'm just going to use the smallest end for this one. Back and forwards. I would always do it on its back first, because then that's the easiest way to start to create that shape, and it starts to curve upon itself when you do that center bit. And then bringing in that tiny little black one again, and I'm just going to circle over the top. Bring in our layer, so we'll do our blue one first. Tiny little bit of tacky glue. And then we can bring in our green layer and offset it. So I'm going to press for 5 seconds or so. You don't need to press long at all with the tacky glue, because it's tacky, it grabs. We can then do another little bit here. We're then going to pop this one in to there, 4 or 5 seconds. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to pop another little bit into the middle there. And then to pick up this little black die cut, I'm going to pop my pokey tool in, picking up just with a little bit of glue into the center, and then we're going to press. So that creates the second flower. And then there we go. So there's 2 of them that we've got here. And then all we need to do now is we need to die cut a third set with our layers here. So our black layers, and we're going to do exactly what we've done a moment ago. And we're going to do that, or I'm going to do that while we go across to you, Joe. But I'm just doing exactly the same, nothing different for the third one.
Awesome. Teresa wants to know what glue is in the little pots. It's the tacky glue, isn't it, Craig?
It is, yep.
Awesome. Deborah says that is the neatest way to make a paper flower, Craig. Thank you so much. I love watching you, always learn so much. Stephanie saying that the technique with the paper flowers is awesome. Alison saying just learned something new again with those flowers. A lot of love for them. Karen says I haven't used my flower dyes yet, so watching this with particular interest. They look lovely on the finished box. Yes, make sure you dig those out, Karen. Debbie wanted to know if you could cut all of those at once on the Pro. I guess it's not the size of the machine, it's having the die itself, I guess, is the issue, isn't it, Craig?
Yeah, that's it, because now, obviously, I've only got that one flower die, so because I want, obviously, the 3 layers of them, or the 2 layers, you know, then that's why I'm doing the 2 of them. So I would still have to come back and then die cut that again. If you've got 2 of these flowers or 3 of these flowers, then great, but as Joe says, yeah, it's more about the actual flower itself.
Awesome. Well, I just want to run you back through the dies themselves. They are available right now in this show. If you missed the launch, don't worry, because you'll be able to come back and watch this back at any time. It's a full on-demand service over on our website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu. You've got 6 die collections in here that are giving you 18 different finished elements for you. So you've got Happy Birthday, Happy Easter and Happy Thoughts. This one here is Just For You, Miss You and Thank You. You've then got Sending Wishes, Birthday Wishes and Get Well Wishes. Best Wishes, Best of Luck, Best Friend. Congratulations, Celebrate and Condolence. I particularly love the fonts that you've got there on that one. And then here you've got Sending Hugs, Sending Love and Sending Kisses as well. So make sure you grab those, $74.95 or $84.75. Platinum members can get them today for $59.96 or $67.80, which is awesome. And remember, you'll get double points on them too. Double points on absolutely everything until the end of tomorrow, which is absolutely awesome. Now, the paper pads, they're proving exceptionally busy in this show. We've got 4 different patterned ones available for you. This is your Best of British, which is awesome. There's some elements in here that are pretty close to what Craig has used, actually. The Fairy Garden one that Craig used is out of stock, but as Craig said multiple times, you could use absolutely any paper pad you want to customise the craft along however you see fit. $19.99 or $24.95. There's 48 pages there in that one. This one here is your fall blooms that you've got. Again, a really nice colour palette, very sort of peachy, pinky and blue. There you've got all of those wonderful toppers and then some really lovely designs in here. You've got some spot foiled elements within there too, which is really lovely. Love the way they pick up and play with the light. $16.99 or $19.95 for that one. This one here is the contemporary watercolor that you've got. This I've seen used a lot recently in the demonstrations we do on air here at Crafters TV. It's a very popular recent launch. Lovely toppers again in there, 4 pages of those, and then really nice bold colors in here. You've got blues, greens, purples, reds and browns in there, so good variation on all the different colours that are there. And then the last one here is the everyday celebrations that you've got. 48 pages again in this one. Really fantastic. Again, just like the Best of British, a good versatile mix of styles, artwork and patterns in there for you, and a good variations of colours. As far as all-rounders go, I'd say that the Best of British and this one are probably the most versatile. It's the everyday celebrations, that one there. And you've got a saving on that, $11.69 or $15.25. Now, if you're after solid colours and you want textured cardstock, we've got those available. Now, these are definitely a cardstock weight because these are 230 GSM, these, so heavier than our normal weight. You get 36 sheets, it's double-sided, it's got a white core as well, so if you do want to sand it back and do any of those distressing techniques, absolutely you're able to do that. $59.97 or $74.85 if you want to get hold of that one. Essentially, you're getting one free when you buy in that configuration. Now, I'm going to give you all a little longer to get yourself caught up, so whilst we do that, here's all the details on how you can watch and shop at the same time.
Hi, I'm Joe from Crafters TV, and I'm here to show you how you can grab the best deals and shop whilst you watch during our shows. So the best way to watch us is always on Crafters TV. Head on over to our homepage and go to Crafters TV. You can see all of our shows, offers, and even shop while you watch. Now if you want to get involved and comment along, head over to our Facebook page. Come say hello, ask us some questions, and lol with us. Or you can watch us on YouTube. Simply head to our Crafters Companion YouTube channel. Got a smart TV? You can even airplay directly onto your big screen. We're constantly adding new and exciting shows to our schedule, so don't forget to check in. It's never been easier to have us in your living room. It's always fun here at Crafters TV, so come join us as we create every day.
Absolutely, we create every day here with you, live for 5.5 hours every single day, which is very, very exciting. If you make sure you join us, there's a whole host of great shows coming up over the next few days. I'll be here with you until Tuesday evening, so I'll share with you a little later in this show some of the stuff that is coming up. Also, remember, we've got that fantastic craft house tonight where we're going to be launching some hunky-dory items. Now, they weren't meant to be launching a little later in the week, but we said, you know what? Why don't we squeeze it forward? You twisted a few arms, didn't you, Craig? And we managed to get the launch on the show tonight, which is very, very exciting.
Twisted a few arms, I stomped my feet, I hit my wrists and my hands on the table.
It was the stroppy Scotty, weren't you?
I want to do it. It's not what it's like with Hunky Dory. I was like, I want to do it on a Saturday night time here in the UK. So that's what we've got. We've got it tonight and I can't wait for that one. But let's finish this one off now. Not a lot more to do, just have to construct it all. So what we've done is we've done our 3 flowers now. So I've just finished that one here. So I'm going to set that to the side. Let's bring in our Celebrate, and let's also bring in our tacky glue again in the little applicator. So we can then work our way around. So add in our tacky glue all the way around. So just following it around, and then what we can then do is attach it to our back layer. So let's pop that one here. I've got a little bit of excess glue, so I'm going to dab that off on my hand. Line it up. Now with the tacky glue, it does dry clear, so if you're relatively new to it, then don't worry. It's a white glue that dries clear. So we can then take that away. I'm going to even just dab a few of the excess bits of glue off. So we can set that, well, before we set that to the side, let's bring in our pads again. And I'm going to cut a relatively small strip and peel this one off. So if I peel that back and off, and then I'm going to run that one along. So there's our sentiment, will be good to go. And then what we're going to do is if we bring in our last 2 black butterflies, and we're going to do what we've done a moment or two ago, and that's snip them out. We're following the exact same lines as we've done beforehand, and that is just following the outside of the petals as well as the foliage, and we're going to snip all these away. I think it's a really nice little butterfly as well to be using in other projects, Joe. It's not one that, some of them have got the real pointy wings to them, whereas this has got a nice smooth curvature all the way around when it comes to the butterfly. So it's a really nice one to be using. So that's one of them. And then last but not least, snipping these ones away. So just snip all these bits, following the edge of the wing. We're working our way around. And then there is our butterflies all done. So it's now literally the case of bringing back in your box and we can start to finish it off. So we can bring it back in. So let's bring in our main sentiment here that we've got. And because we've done it on that full backing of the pad, we can take that off. And then this is now edge to edge foam pads. That's going to sit just nicely into the middle, like that way. So there's our sentiment. Bringing in our glue gel now, because it's although it's handmade and homemade, it's an embellishment. So I always use our glue gel for our embellishments. So we can then bring in our 3 flowers. So I'm going to position them into here. Oh, that one's dried up. So let's bring in our next one, which is here. So we're going to pop into there, a bit of glue gel there. I always do the center one first, and then I tuck the other edges underneath. So I have the center one sitting proud, and then the 2 side by side, I have the wings or the petals just tucked underneath. And then we can then do that one. So we're going to do it as a bit of a curve. We're following that outline from our nest and die. So there's our flowers. So let's bring in our sentiment. and that can come along here. But because we've still got a bit of that encapsulated glitter along the bottom, what I'm going to do is our foam pad is going to give us that instant attach like our tape runners will. But then what this glue does is this will foam and dry into all the layers of our encapsulated glitter. So press that into place. We can then bring in our 2 butterflies, and what I'm doing is if I bring the blue one in, and what we done earlier on, I'm going to put a little bit of glue into the center of the body, and we're going to layer that one straight over the top of the yellow, and I'm going to press for a minute. And while I'm just holding the center, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the wings up, there, and then here. And still using our tacky glue for this one. We're going to pop another bit of glue into the center. This one can then go here, and this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pokey tool to press. So we're getting the yellow and the blue wings coming to life. And then to finish off, what we can do is I've brought in some of my gems or my pearls from Hunky Dory. So we're going to take some of these larger ones. Now it doesn't matter the company or the quality of your gems and pearls, even if they're self-adhesive, I will always put tacky glue down first. And that's just going to really stabilize your pearls. So let's go in at the largest ones, and we're going to do 1 in each corner. And we can take all 4 of them. So we've done 1, 2, taking any excess glue off my pokey tool, 3, and then 4, and then absolutely last but not least, we can then come along, and in the center of our flowers we can pop tiny little bit of glue, 1, 2, 3, and if you're using the pearls that I'm using, we're going to go for the really small ones, and I'm picking them up with my pokey tool, and I'm going to pop that into the center. Here it is here. Don't worry about moving your flowers, because you can come along and sort that. That's a good thing with the glue gel. I'm going to pop that into place. Pop in that one. Where's that one going? Here it is. Here. Into the center. Popping that one in. And then we can bring our next one. And I'm going to rejig the flowers. Just tidy them or neaten them up slightly. And then that is it. That is us done with our Happy Easter box that you can be putting little gifts, little chocolates, any little presents that you want into the middle. It might be a card that you're making, and then you can obviously decorate it whichever way you like, but you've got a good depth when it comes to the box there. You've got, by trimming off a slight edge, so 1/2 inch around the yellow layer, this allows us to see our green layer underneath. And then if I bring in this one, so the one that I've already done, which is exactly the same, so exactly the same. And then what I've done within this one is we put some Easter chocolate into the middle, but it could be any gifts that you want. Absolutely, Georgina, everyone here, the lucky for being on a Saturday, we will eat it. Just as well, it was bought today, so there you go, all nicely out the packaging that we can eat between our next show.
Awesome.
Here we
What a fantastic craft along that is. Now, those of you that have craft along at the same time, you guys know the drill. You know what you need to do. As soon as you're finished, we'd love to see a picture of what you have completed. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. If you are still working on it, you don't get it finished before sort of in the next 10 minutes or so, then maybe you could drop us a picture in our later Craft House show. That'd be a lovely point for us to show them all as well. Those of you that maybe didn't get it finished immediately, then drop us an email in the 7 p.m. show. Now, for anyone that's watched that, maybe wasn't thinking they wanted to do it, but now has changed their mind, or you've just tuned in, you think, right, I'm going to go back to the start and I'm going to get myself ready, I'm going to craft that. Here is everything that you require. So a 12 by 12 pad, Craig used the fairy garden. We've then got the butterfly foliage, the stitch edge oval, the ornate frames, the Big Euro Crafts flower die. We've also got the A4 foam pad sheet as well. White pearls, we've got some 12 by 12 or A3 cardstock, yellow and green. Craig used the pastel Centura pearl, you can use whatever you want. Some A4 cardstock in the matte black, the white and the pastel blue. And then some other sort of hardware bits that most of you will already have, I'm sure, which was the Scoremaster, the stamping mat, the large guillotine, craft knife and scissors, pokey tool and the call-out glue gel, small flower forming ball tool, some low-tack tape and a tape pen, tacky glue in the fine tip applicator, and the Gemini, the Junior or the MIDI machines. You'll need an A5 cutting platform or larger. A lot of you absolutely loving the craft along today. Aisha wants to know how you clean your tools when you get glue on them, Craig, specifically the tweezers and the ball tools.
Fingers. I just
Fingers?
wipe them with my fingers.
Oh, okay.
You could use a baby wipe or a damp cloth of that. I just use, as you'll seen me a minute ago with the pokey tool, either tweezers, doing what I'm doing, bit of glue or that. I just obviously careful because they are pokey tools, but I literally just wipe them in my fingers.
Awesome. Evelyn says, I love all the tips and tricks from Craig. I didn't have time to craft along, but I've enjoyed watching the show and listening. Beth says, a lot of people are looking forward to that Craft House show later. Beth says, Craig has got me addicted to Hunky Dory. Sheila says, I'm looking forward to Craft House today with the Hunky Dory products. Kathy loves the box. Sally saying how awesome it is. Val Lloyd saying, love the box of sentiments of flowers and the butterflies. She said it also opens up lots of different ideas for her as well. Lynn says, such a beautiful box. Love all the colours. And Barbara saying, amazing Easter box, Craig. So lovely. Everyone in the comment is loving the box and the colours as well. As I said, if you have completed it in real time along with us, please send those pictures into a studio at crafterscompanion.co.uk. Right, I'm going to take you back through the collection that you've got, and then I'll take you through some of those finished concepts that I've also got as well. This is what you can get. If you've just seen that box created and you thought, do you know what? I really need to have a go at that one. This is the collection that you're going to want to grab in order to help you do that. Here what we've got is the Happy Birthday, Easter and Thoughts. We've also then got Just For You, Miss You and Thank You. We've got Sending Wishes, Birthday Wishes and Get Well Wishes. Best Wishes, Best of Luck, Best Friend. Along with Congratulations, Celebrate, Condolences and also Sending Hugs, Sending Love and Sending Kisses. All of those coming your way. Let me share with you some of the awesome concepts that have been done with these. So let's have a look at these. I love this one. Think about doing it with a shaker card. I love a shaker card with sequins as well. And that's exactly what's been used in here. I think it looks absolutely awesome. Then we've got, I love this. This has been done quite a lot on these with the topper in the background and then using the outline die just to cut a mask to go over the top there. And that's been done then with some foam pads on there to give that a little bit of depth and dimension. This one here is used the Best Wishes and you've got a fold back there. Very simple, but very, very effective. Using it as a topper with some foam pads on the top of a project as well works really well. I think the thing is with these, if you did want to batch make them or you did want to make cards that were fairly simple, you've got so much intricate design within each one of the dies themselves that you don't really need to do too much to it. That's a lovely easel there with some acetate behind, which gives you a really sort of like floating sentiment vibe. We've got the Celebrate one here as well. A double fold back for you there with the Sending Love, which I think is a really nice way to use it. This one here just used as a simple topper, which is of course a great way to use them. You then also have as well Happy Birthday, and again this has been done as an edgeable with a little bit of acetate on the bottom half there, which is very clever. And then finally is one of those sort of ini-pash ones, again, Best of Luck. They are all very legible, which I love, and there are so many different concepts that you can create with them, which makes them very, very easy to craft with. Some of you sending in pictures already, which is fantastic. Please keep doing so, and we'll share them before the end of the show. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk is where you need to send them to. Now, Craig, do you think we've got time to squeeze in one more demonstration before the end of the show? Are we going to vote on a card of the show? We're just going to put the craft along in there. What do you think, Craig?
I think we'll definitely get another demo, but I think we'll just put the craft along box in.
I think so. I think it's for the best.
Let's
Let me know if
it.
you're okay with that, guys. Let me know in the comments on Facebook or across on YouTube as well.
Rightio, let's go for it. Let's make another one. So this one we're going to make kind of like a theatre style card. So what I've done is I've got my white smooth stamping card. So I've measured it to 9 inches by 6 inches. And then I have scored at 1 inch, 1.5, 7.5 and 8 inches. And I've done that twice. So So I've folded my layers in, so we can see that's how we're going to get that one. I've done it twice, and I'm going to turn it over, so this is the effect that we're going to get from up above, and it will fold flat. So let's bring in one of these. It's going to be the front layer. So what I'm then going to do as well is I've taken one of the pattern papers that are from the collections today, and I'm going to go round with my tape runner. So we're going to go all the way around. I have cut this one to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and with the layer underneath, and this one's from our Warm Tones 12 by 12 texture cardstock, I've just cut a small matting layer. It's not quite 1/4 inch all the way that I do. It's very, very slightly thinner for this one. And then we're going to still use our tape runner again. And we're going to go all the way round. And then what I'm going to do with this one is, what I'm actually going to do as well, is I'm going to do kind of like a little square in the middle. And that'll make sense in a minute or two. This can then go over the top, and then I'm going to press. So what I can then do is if I bring in the wild flowers, so we'll bring the outline die, the decorative die, and let's go for Sending Kisses. And what we can then do is this main background die, what we're going to do is this is then going to die cut through all 3 layers. Now the reason I've done kind of like a bit of a little square on the back with the adhesive is once this cuts out, there'll still be enough adhesive on the outside that's holding the cardstock in between, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Just so that we've still got something holding the centre. So what I can then do is bring in, I just made that wide enough, didn't I? Perfect, with the junior. Whew, just and no more.
Does it look to anyone else like there's a cat coming out the top of that die?
It does, yeah, it does actually,
it?
doesn't it? Yeah, it does. It's amazing actually what some of the dies can look like, you know, especially if there's outline dies, what they can look like. Sometimes, you know, it could be something as simple as clouds, or in this case, it's like the pussycat ears. You could have some fun with them. So layering these ones up. Now that is our white smooth stamping card, that is our 12 by 12 texture card, and then that's also our pattern cardstock. I've not put in the metal shim. Quite confident that it's going to cut all layers, but we'll see. We'll see in a minute. So let's see. Oh, let's see. Not that I doubted it, but I should never question the Gemini. So that's cut all 3 layers.
No one
here.
puts a Gemini in the corner, Craig.
Sorry?
No one puts Gemini in the corner.
No one does put Gemini in the corner. Absolutely not. No way. So there is the main front. Now this is what I mean by the little square. So all those card layers in betweens are still stuck together because I put a little square of adhesive on the back. So what we can do is we can then, let's bring in our back layer and also another piece of cardstock. I've done the same size as the front layer, but what I'm not going to do is cut an aperture. That can go straight into the middle. So we're going to pop this one here into place, and then at this point what I'm going to do is we're going to pop adhesive on this strip and this strip, and I'm actually going to construct the card now, and then what we'll do is we can do our die cutting and then add in the layers afterwards, because although it's a dimensional card we can fold it flat so we can get the central detail sentiment in just perfectly. So we can match that end with that end and press, and then I'm going to turn it around because I find it easier by turning it around, and we're going to match one end with the other one, and then press there, and then that starts to, well it does, it gives us our kind of like our theatre card there. Sit that one to the side, bring in our plates again, and we're going in, bringing in a bit of this pastel colour cardstock, still from the Warm Tones, and we can tape that one down. So we can pop that one in here. We're then going to bring in a bit of that deeper red here and pop this one into place. What I'm also going to do, just so that I can get them all on, I'm going to trim this down even more, and then that can then get secured into place. Pop that there, and then what we can do is bring in our sentiment die. I'm going to pop that onto our white smooth cardstock, and we can pop that one there. and secure them all the way up. Then we can bring in our plate. So plastic, magnetic, and then top plate. Feed these ones through. And what you can do with any of these ones, you don't just have to use the full layers if you want. If maybe, for instance, you just want to use the sentiment on its own, you absolutely can do. Maybe, you know, for Happy Easter, you might want to make an Easter card or some other Easter themed card and just use that sentiment, not the decoration, which you can, no problem whatsoever. So we can then take away all these layers. So I'm going to carefully peel these ones out here. So there's 1, 2, and then let's bring in the third one. So if I pop these bits out, bringing in our poke tool, and then feed that out. So we've got our 3 layers, and let's take that one here. So I'm going to sit that one to the side, that to the side, and then this has got our layers here. So I'm going to do this layer first, and we can use our dotty tape runner for this one. If you've still got your tacky glue and the little applicator, use that if you want, but I'm going to use our dotty tape runner. That can then sit nicely into the middle, like that one. And then what I'm going to do is bring in our sentiment again with the dotty tape runner. And I'm just being careful because we've got some real fine edges when it comes to the sentiment. So I don't want to tear it. So I'm going to really hold down each layer as I go in with my tape runner. And then this one can sit into the middle here. So lining it up and using that white.
Love the colours again, Craig.
It's giving you that reverse effect from the craft along box that we done with the black, where the black stands out. We've now done the reverse, but we've got it so that the white stands out. So black and white, you know, works in so many different ways. So we can then bring back in our, kind of like our diorama theatre card. And what I'm going to do, just because I've still got some left over, let's take
You're loving these sheets, aren't you, today?
I am, yeah, and do you know something? See, when I'm at home, I actually use them quite a lot. It's just when I'm here on Crafters TV, I'll use the pads. So either or, you know, I love them both. So I just thought I'd bring them in and incorporate them with the craft along. But what I've done now, so now I'm just laying that one flat that we can see here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that in right over the top. And then I'm just going to just carefully manipulate that out. We're going to pop the sides in. And then I've got a couple of other strips here and then here. Popping our adhesive on, so all the way round. Let's pop here. So if I set that into place here, I'm going to rub that one, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to tape this side here, and then to finish off, I've got a lovely baby pink bow. We can bring in our adhesive, let's bring in our glue gel. I'm going to set that here to the side. I'm going to pop that one here, press that into place. Add gems, add pearls, add a little bit of ink to the papers if you want, but that's all that I'm going to do. So we can see, now you could of course make a box for it if you want, but don't forget it does fold flat, so you can just pop it flat into an envelope and send that to someone that you just want to send some kisses to.
Oh, who would you send some kisses to today, Craig?
My mum, seeing it's Mother's Day tomorrow. And
yeah, I think so. Jeffrey actually asked me a little bit earlier what I'd done for my mum, so I sent her a card, obviously. Sounds a bit rude, but I sent her some skincare. Only just because I was using something that I really loved, and I said to her, you know, I think you'd enjoy it. Do you want me to get it for you? And she said, yes. I said, okay, get it for you for Mum's Day.
Oh, that's good then.
I'm not like trying to tell her she looks old or anything like that. It was just, you know, it was just a conversation, so I just got that for her. But yes, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there for tomorrow. I'm sure we'll talk about that lots more in tomorrow's show. Loads of you have been sending pictures in to us of your craft along, which I absolutely adore. Some variations, which I think is always exciting, and it's definitely something that you can do with the craft along. You know, you put your own stamp on it, 100%. Let's have a look at some of those pictures. Dawn sent this one in, Craig. Love that. Love the paper she's used there.
That is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Love that. That reminds me. Was it our lily collection? I want to say, you know, with that kind of water tone, but isn't that elegant? I love how you've gone with the kind of like the layout that I've done, but you've changed it, you know, quite dramatically, and I love that. Adore it.
Really, really lovely. Angela sent this one in to us as well. Look at that.
That is spectacular. So Angela doesn't have the interchangeable dies, but look how well she's adapted that to. So it goes to show, follow my plan and then just change the decoration, whichever way you want, a bit of flower forming.
Absolutely. Faye sent this one into us. Love that.
Oh, I love that.
She stuck pretty much true to your craft along there with that one.
She did indeed. And how well does that look? And you know, it's so nice to see these, you know, whether you've replicated them exactly, changed them slightly, goes to show each and every one of us that do these, how well that we think we are following the instructions.
Very serious looking me in the background.
There is you there,
isn't there?
There is
That's
indeed.
gorgeous, Jennifer. Love that. June sent this one in as well.
Brilliant, look at that. And then just by simply doing exactly what I've done, but then with the flowers, done 2 on one side, 1 on the other, still works so well, absolutely gorgeous. Every single one of them is gorgeous.
Really, really lovely. Awesome. The title of the show is going to be the box, Craig. So make sure you pop that onto the cabinet of creativity, along with all of our other ones that are up there at the moment. There's absolutely loads of winners up there at the moment. So we'll be choosing, of course, the winner during our Second Chance Sunday show tomorrow here on Crafty TV at 7 p.m. here in the UK, 2 p.m. Eastern time. I believe it's me and Jan tomorrow for that, so do make sure you join us both. Candace saying another fabulous show, Craig, Joe and all the CCTV staff. Karen says, what a fantastic show. I've been here watching and learning. Always lovely to learn with Craig, so thank you from that. Laquietta saying, Craig is rocking the second demo and convinced me to buy these, so off to shop at the end of the show. And Hadassah saying that she just got hers thanks to Craig's demonstrations. Great point is, remember, you can shop now and come back and watch this at any point you wish, totally free of charge, over on our website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.au. On the home screen, you'll always see the shop the show button. Click that and then you'll see all the products there. So let me take you back through what you're going to get if you're going for the whole collection. Now you can mix and match if you want to. Any 2 of these for £26 or $30, it's up to you. So you've got the Happies, which is birthday, Easter and thoughts. You then have the Yous, just for you, miss you, and thank you. They all come with these different topper sections that you're going to pop them onto as well, which is fantastic. You've got the Wishes, sending wishes, birthday wishes, get well wishes. We've then got the best wishes, best of luck, best friends. This one here, I love this. I think there's something so refined about that font that's been used. Congratulations, celebrate, and condolences. And then we've got sending hugs, sending love, and sending kisses. Really, really awesome. $74.95 or $84.75. Platinum members, you're going to be able to grab these today for $59.96 or $67.80. That saves you just under £30, just under $35, which is fantastic. Now, I want to share with you some of the paper pads that we've had on the show today as well. Here's the Best of British, 48 awesome pages within there, and they are double-sided for you, which I think is wonderful. $19.99 or $24.95 if you want to get that one. We also had the Full Blooms, 36 sheets here for you, $16.99 or $19.95. Then we had the Contemporary Watercolor, 40 sheets in there, really awesome. That is one of the most popular ones we've launched recently. It's been very popular amongst our craft experts. You'll have seen that used in a lot of demonstrations here on Crafters TV. We then have the Everyday Celebrations, 48 sheets in that one, $11.69 or $15.25. And then we also had a great multi-buy for you on all of the solid colours. Now this is the 12x12 textured cardstock, and it's a card stock, so it's 230 GSM here, double-sided, which is fantastic. 36 sheets in each of those. Essentially, you're getting one totally free of charge when you buy in this configuration. Do grab those. And then also our Get It, Got It Good deal. This one is your Scoremaster with the envelope box and the boxer board with the scoreboard collection. It's your penultimate day to get this week's Get It, Got It Good. We'll be launching another Get It, Got It Good during Craig's wake-up call, which I'll be a part of with Craig on Monday morning, bright and early, which will be absolutely lovely. So do make sure you join us both for that. Now, remember, still another fantastic show coming your way this evening. Craig, we've got Hunky Dory coming up, haven't we? Just give everyone a little, if you just, you know, whet our appetite slightly as to what we're going to expect out of that show.
Oh, I don't know what else I could say other than it's just a fantastic show to be watching. Maybe you want some extra new hunky-dory goodies. We've got some of the most gorgeous blue mirror card with butterfly blue. It's incredible. You know, we've got Acorn collection as well as we've got a real bright springtime collection that's not decollage. So if you like the springtime but you didn't really want the decollage with the depth, this is going to be a perfect one for you. Can't wait for it.
Awesome, really looking forward to that. So make sure you join us. That is, of course, 7 p.m. here in the UK, 2 p.m. if you are over on the East Coast. Craig, it's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe.
A great craft along. Remember, you're going to be able to watch this craft along back anytime you like as well. So do grab your products. Don't forget to check out your baskets and make sure you join us back here for all things Craft House in an hour. Craig is away at the chocolate there in an hour's time. Don't forget as well, another great day of shows coming up tomorrow for you. The second instalment, of course, our new Softer Side Life show, which of course is in its new time slot on a Sunday, midday here in the UK, 7 a.m. if you are across on the East Coast. So don't forget about that. Or hang on, is it clocks tomorrow? It'll be 8, tomorrow it'll be 8 a.m. You've got to see, what's he doing? What's he like over there? It'll be 8 a.m. because of course, Eastern time, you are, of course, going into daylight saving tomorrow. So that's always exciting, isn't it? Having lighter evenings, much better. Ours doesn't happen here until the end of the month, and then it'll all jig back to normal. But I'll tell you more about that in the later show tonight. Get yourself ready. Make sure you join myself and Craig back here in 2 hours' time for that fantastic craft house. We see you then.
Bye.